Hey there! I know how tiring it can be to live with constant anxiety caused by false alarms. That's why I started Your Anxiety Solution, a place where we can all come together to tackle anxiety, OCD, panic disorders, and related conditions. In my videos, you'll find practical tips and strategies to help you break free from the grip of false alarms and live a happier, more fulfilling life. So whether you're struggling with these issues or just want to boost your emotional well-being, you're in the right place. Join our community by hitting that subscribe button and notification bell, and let's overcome false alarms together. So, exposure therapy is all about helping people face and overcome fears by gradually introducing them to the things they're afraid of in a safe, controlled environment. This involves creating a list of fear-inducing situations or objects and slowly exposing yourself to them, starting with the least scary and working up to the most frightening. Exposures can happen in real life or through guided imagery or virtual reality even. With practice, you'll learn what you fear isn't really dangerous, and your anxiety will start to fade. This helps rewire your brain and reduce the severity and frequency of your anxiety symptoms. Okay, so a key part of exposure therapy is identifying what your anxiety or OCD holds you back from doing, and then deliberately engaging in those activities to desensitize yourself and lessen anxiety's impact. For example, if you're afraid of rejection or being alone, try embracing those fears and participating in activities that trigger them. This can help you become less sensitive to the anxiety and better equipped to handle those situations in the future. When starting exposure therapy, it's important to be honest with yourself about your fears and make a list of them. Some fears might fade away as you progress, while others may surface as you dig a bit deeper. Now I'm going to share with you a list of my own fears that fuel my anxiety and panic disorder. So for me, developing health concerns, driving alone for long distances, getting lost in the wilderness, being alone at night, being rejected by friends or a significant partner, losing loved ones, and even having arguments within the family. So to begin exposure therapy, pick a fear from your list and design an exposure around it. Start by identifying what you see as threatening and create an if-then statement. So, for example, I'm afraid of developing new health concerns. So if one day I began to feel short of breath, then I may believe that I'm beginning to become sick with COVID again. And that thought train may escalate very quickly and make me believe that it could lead to my death. Very unrealistic? Well, actually, it's not that unrealistic, given the pandemic over the past couple of years. Next, put yourself in a situation that exposes yourself to the perceived threat. So for instance, to replicate the feeling of difficulty breathing, which is what I had while I had COVID last year, as many others also experienced that horrible sensation, I might try to breathe for a straw for a set time. Or maybe I would complete some physical exercises until I feel out of breath. Next comes response prevention. So figure out how you typically neutralize the threat and plan how you'll prevent it by staying vulnerable to the threat, okay? So for example, since I tend to distract myself from reality as a way of avoiding the perceived threat, instead what I'll do is use mindfulness to stay present. Okay, so emotional digestion and something like a feel wheel can help you identify the emotions you're experiencing, and it can also help you practice distress tolerance as you begin to accept the discomfort and uncertainty of the situation. This is what a feel wheel looks like, okay? And this can help you really hone in on what's going on with yourself inside and help you identify and engage with your emotions. Next, consider your expectations and how likely they are to come true, as well as how bad it would be if they did. So this step is crucial for challenging your thoughts and assumptions about the perceived threat. Then complete the exposure exercise. Remember to stay present, use emotional digestion and the feel wheel. Be mindful of how you are feeling and practice distress tolerance throughout the process. Finally, reflect on your experience. Now this part is often overlooked, but it's really important. Take note of what happened during the exposure and note any data that you collected. For example, what often happens to me during exposure, I'll notice that my mind will try to distract itself, but I use mindfulness to bring myself back to the present moment. Also, you want to identify any surprises and moments of pride even that occurred during your exposure. This can help positively reinforce the experience and also allows you to reflect on the progress and how you managed to face the fear. Okay, now think about how you can test this fear again in a different setting. And that's the final stage of this. So to bring up the example of the struggle I had with COVID again, so if I wanted to try that exposure out in a different setting, what that could look like is potentially discussing COVID with friends to trigger the fear of myself becoming physically ill again. Repeating this process helps you reinforce the lessons learned during exposure therapy and further reduces your anxiety around the subject. Now, congratulations! You've learned the fundamentals of exposure therapy. Be consistent in practicing these techniques and you'll be well on your way to breaking free from the cycle of anxiety and living a more fulfilling life. So in conclusion, breaking free from the cycle of false alarms caused by anxiety, OCD, and panic disorders is a journey that requires dedication, self-awareness, and persistence. Thank you for joining me on this journey to conquer anxiety and live a happier, more fulfilling life. If you found this video helpful, as always, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others who might benefit also from these techniques, and remember to subscribe to your anxiety solution. Hit that notification bell to stay updated on my new content, and together we can overcome false alarms and lead more emotionally balanced lives. Till next time, I'm signing off here. Stay strong. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Take care and keep facing your fears.